Hello guys, how you guys are doing and welcome to a new video. And in this new video, we're going to keep talking about clientless SSL VPN. On the video before, we did a clientless SSL VPN connection, but now we're going to do another one, but we're using two firewalls. So we're going to have two different um, locations, two different company locations that we're going to connect to. So what is SSL? So in the video before, I did not um, really go over what a clientless SSL VPN is. So what this clientless SSL VPN is that it enables an end user to securely access resources on the corporate network from anywhere using an SSL-enabled web browser. Okay, the first users the user first authenticates with a clientless SSL VPN gateway, which then allows the user to access the pre-configured network resources. Clientless SSL VPN creates a secure remote access VPN tunnel to an ASA using a web browser without requiring a software or hardware client. Okay, so without needing a Cisco AnyConnect, and it provides secure and easy access to a broad range of web resources and both web-enabled and legacy applications from almost any device that can connect to the internet via HTTP, like a web browser. So this is what it does. It just enables the user to create a VPN connection from a web browser, and that's what we're going to do. Just like in the video before, but and this time we have two firewalls, as you can see right here. So we have firewall ASA and NC, which is the one in North Carolina, and then we have ASA NY, which is the one in New York City. I love New York. Um, and then NC for North Carolina. You know what? Let's put South Carolina. I like South Carolina better. There you go. So as you can see right here, what I'm going to kind of mimic is that somebody connected from a hotel needs to access resources from New York and North Carolina. They're going to be able to do that to their computer by connecting via the web browser, logging into the ASA to form that VPN connection to this site and also to this site. So let's go ahead and configure that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a little bit of a long video, not that long, but it's going to be fun. Just stay tuned. So let's go ahead and start configuring. And the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and go to the ASA and Y and configure. So let's go ahead and double click on it. And I believe it's this one right here. But if we close this tab, there we go. Now let's go ahead and config this. And what we want to do is, let's give it a host name so we don't get confused. ASA and Y for New York City. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to configure this interface right here. Interface Gigabit 00, and this one is going to have an IP address of 10.10.10.1, and it's going to have a name if. It's going to be inside because it's the inside. So the security labels are different for the inside because the inside is a trusted, the private network. It's going to have a different security level. So let's go ahead and do no shut. Okay, then after that, let's go ahead to interface Gigabit 02, and this one is the one pointing to the DMZ, right, to the DMZ zone. So let's go ahead and configure that IP address of 10.10.20.1, 255.255.0, and let's give it a name if DMZ, no shutdown. And now let's go ahead and configure this Gigabit 01 to be the internet or the outside. Now let's move this up so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, interface Gigabit 01, an IP address of 145.1.1.1/24. Name F is going to be internet. Internet. There you go. And no shutdown. So that's great. So what we want to do now is configure that ASDM. So what we want to do is we want to start this bad boy. And then we want to actually, we have to make sure that we're using VNC to because this ASDM uses VNC, so we just have to make sure that we use VNC, as you can see right here. The connection, and we want to go to the terminal. And from the terminal, you can do ifconfig and see which interface we have to configure. Config. We have to configure interface 0 right here. So let's go ahead and do. Let's see if I remember. It was ifconfig ETH0, and then I forgot. So ifconfig. Let's see if I find my documents. CCNA security, ASDM. So and then you provide the address. Okay, so I was close enough. So the way that you configure this interface is 10.10.10.2 net mask of 255.255.255.0, and then we're gonna route add. We're going to add default gateway, and the default gateway is 10.10.10.1. There you go. So that's how you configure it. And now we should be able to ping our ASA over here, ASA New York. So let's go ahead and do ping 10.10.10.1. There we go. So now we are able to ping this ASA right here. So this is good. This is all done. Let's go ahead and put this down. And now let's go ahead and start this GUI. And we have to configure that IP address over here for this. And this one also uses, this is called the TACACSGUI, and you can get it from the GNS3. You can get it from the GNS3 appliances. It is called TACACSGUI. There we go. We're gonna start this bad boy up. And let's see, let's give it a minute. There we go. And I believe the login is root in 1234, the password. There you go. And now you want to do ifconfig, and we want to configure ifconfig ETH0 with an IP address of 10.10.22.255.255.255.0. We need to put netmask right here. Netmask ifconfig netmask. Oops. Config. I spelled that wrong. There we go. And now we're gonna do a route add default gateway of 10.10.21. Now we should be able to ping 10.10.21, which is this ASA right here. As you can see, we're able to ping from the GUI and from the ASDM. So we are good right here. So now what we need to do is we need to do the same for, actually we don't even need to have this, which one is it, the GUI open. We can just go ahead and shut that down. So what I'm going to do is we are going to go to, um, let's go ahead and come to the ASA again, and I need to configure something else. So exit. What we're going to do, we're going to add a route, and we're going to do it a route to the internet. I want to send everything to the internet, and the gateway is going to be 145.1.1.2, which is this router over here. I want to send everything over here. Okay, so that is good. And now something else that I want to do a name, 10.10.20.2, and we're going to name this we're going to name this GUI as a TACACSGUI. So now we should be able to ping 10.10.22, and we also should be able to ping GUI, which is the same. I just did a domain name right here, so now we're able to ping that using just the GUI word. So that's good. That is working the way I wanted it. So now what we want to do is we want to put this down, and we want to open the ASA South Carolina. And actually, I forgot to do something. We need to go ahead and do HTTP, go to config T, go to HTTP server enable, and then HTTP, and what we want to do is we want to go like that, and then internet, I believe. Yep, there we go. So that's how you want to do it. So you want to allow the server, HTTP server, and you also want to allow it to the, is it to the internet, I believe. Let me see if I'm able to connect with the ASDM first. See if that works. 10, 10, 10, 1. See if that works. And it looks like it is now working. So this needs to be inside. And let's put no internet. Let's actually it did let me through it. So I need to do no inside and internet. Okay. So now as you can see, we're able to launch the ASDM. We're not gonna, you know what? Let's go ahead and just launch it. Since we don't have a local username and password, we can just click enter, and that's going to launch the ASDM for the ASA New York City, or should launch it, right? Okay, let's just put this down and let's start configuring the ASA at South Carolina. Config T, enable, config T, and we want to do is a host name first of ASA South Carolina. Now let's go ahead and configure the interfaces, Gigabit 00, which is this one, the one pointing to the ASDM, IP address of 192.1.1, and let's do a name F inside, and then after that, give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and configure interface Gigabit 0/1, which is the one to the DMZ IP address 192.168.1. Oh, that. Hmm. So that 2.1. Making sure I got it right. Name F. It needs to be DMZ. No shutdown. And then we forgot to do no shutdown over here. And now let's go ahead and configure interface Gigabit 0/2. So give me 1 second, guys. I gotta reply to my girl, or she's gonna get mad. Okay, and IP address 145.1.1.3. No shut. Do a name F internet for that. So this is good. Exit. So then let's go ahead and enable HTTP server to be enabled. Then HTTP question mark, let's do a host name of, so this means that we are going to allow any IP address from the internet. There we go. So that this is good. And then after that, what we need to do is we have this working. Let's go ahead and configure that ASDM. Let's turn it on. Did I turn it on? Okay, here we go. Double click on it. Oop, it got off. Okay, let's go ahead and config. Okay, so this is using Tony, that's why it is turning it off. So let's go ahead and click on that. Turn it back on. Double click on it. Here we go. Don't warn me again. Continue. Then after that, let's go ahead to the terminal. Ifconfig with ETH0, IP address 192.168.1.2, net mask 255.255.255.0, and then route add, and we are going to add a default gateway, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.1, which you now be able to ping 192.168.1.1, which is this one over here, and we are able to ping it, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and see if the other one is unable to launch it for some reason. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, see what's going on over here. Let's go ahead to New York. Let's go ahead and do, instead of internet, let's do inside over here and see if we're able to, let's go ahead and cancel it, close it, close. Let's try to launch it again. 10, 10, 10, 1. Okay. And there we go. So that's launching it. So you need to put inside instead of internet. So let's just go ahead and do no internet. There we go. So now we are able to launch it. So now what we need to do from South Carolina instead of internet, it needs to be inside and put no internet. There we go. So that's good. So now from this ASDM, let's go ahead and launch the ASDM 192.168.1.1. Always trust, yes. Always trust, run, allow. Okay. So there you go. So now we have launched both of them. So we have this one, and we also have um, this one over here. So we have both launched, both ASDM from South Carolina and the TACACS one. So now let's go ahead and turn this TACACS on, and let's go ahead and configure it with an IP address of 192.168.2.2. Okay, so here's the TACACS. Let's go ahead and close this one. Close it. I believe this needs to be launched with not telnet, VNC, apply it, okay. Let's go ahead and stop it and then start it again and then launch it. Here we go. Don't warn this computer. Good. So also now let's go ahead and close this over here and let's put this one a name of South Carolina so I can know which one I am configuring. There we go. So now let's go ahead and launch this TACACS, and let's go ahead and log in. Root 1234, the password. There we go. I have config of ETH0 192.168.2.2. .2.2 net mask 255.255.255.0. I have config. Actually route add default gateway 192.168.2.1. Let's try to ping our default gateway. There we go. So it is working. So right now we have connection. As you can see over here. So now, since we have connection, the GUI, the ASDM right here, and the GUI right here to the ASA. Let me see. I think I configured the AS or the ASA-SC to have the IP address for the Gigabit 2. So yep, that's good. So now let's see if we're able to ping 145.1.1.2, which is this ASA right here. And it looks like we cannot ping that ASA for some reason. So 145, not that 1.2, that 1.1, there we go. So that 1.1, which is this one right here, we cannot ping 145.1.2 because we have not configured yet. So let's go ahead and configure that. Config G, host name. This is going to be called hotel. There's the hotel, right? So now we need to configure Gigabit 0.1.0.0 to have this IP address over here. Interface Gigabit 0.0, IP address of 145.1.1.2. Now shut down. Now we should be able to ping both of the ASA. That one. There we go. We're able to ping this one. And now let's see if we're able to ping that three, which is the South Carolina one. And we're able to do that as well. So this is good. Now let's go ahead to Gigabit Interface 01. Configure an IP address of 10.10.10.31. And let's do now shutdown. And now we need to configure this laptop that I'm using from the hotel. And we need to start this bad boy up first. And let's go ahead and launch it. And we are going to go to the terminal and do an ifconfig as well. Ifconfig ETH0 10.10.32 net mask of 255.255.255.0, and then do a route add default gateway of 10.10.31. Yes. And now let's see if we're able to ping 10.10.31. We're able to do that. Now we should be able to also ping 145.1.1.1, which is the ASA in New York City. And then we should also be able to ping the one in South Carolina, which is 145.1.1.3. And we're not able to ping that one. That's because I did not add that route. So let's go ahead and do that from ASA South Carolina. And let's do a route internet of this one. And I wanted to send it to 145.1.1.2. Now we should be able to ping ASA South Carolina. And there we go. So this is great. And now we should leave that open. And now what we have to do is we have to configure that clientless SSL VPN. So I can, from the hotel, I should be able to form a clientless SSL VPN connection. So the first one that I want to do is I want to launch the ASDM New York. And let's go ahead and connect to that ASDM 10.10.10.1, which is the IP address of, why is it unable to do that now? Let's see, terminal, ping 10.10.10.1 is unreachable. So why are we not able? Let's do an ifconfig. And it looks like my address is not there anymore. ETH0. Actually, ifconfig. And it needs to be ETH0. I don't know why the IP address is not there anymore. At mask of 245.245.245.0. Route add default gateway 1. And now let's do ping. There we go. So now let's go ahead and launch it again. And there we go. And let's go ahead to this one as well. Hopefully the IP address is still there. Or I will have to do it again. Let's go ahead and ping 192.168.1.1. It is not there. So let's go ahead and configure it again. I don't know why it's not there anymore. 192, actually ETH0, 192.168.1.2. Net mask, route add default gateway 192.168.1.1. And now we should be able to ping. Now it's a pinging, we should be able now to launch the ASDM to 192.168.1.1. There we go. Let's go ahead and launch that bad boy. So now what I want to do, let's go ahead and configure that clientless SSL VPN from the ASDM for the New York City. So, and the way that we're going to do this one is going to be kind of manually that we're going to do it, because you could use a wizard, but we're going to use a wizard for AS South Carolina. So we're going to configure both ways. So from the ASDM New York City, we are going to go to configuration and then site-to-site VPN. And from here, the first thing that I want to do is I want to configure a group policy, and we're going to add it, and we're going to call this clientless, and then underscore New York City for New York City. The tunnel protocol is clientless SSL VPN. Filter, timeout, nothing like that. So there we go. This is good. And now let's go ahead and see if we go to advanced. We need to, so we did this one, and then after that we got to let's see if we can, from group policy, let's see if I'm able to edit this one. There's nothing else I could do there. Okay, let's go ahead to um, certificate management advanced. Okay, let's go ahead and add a tonal group. Nope, we're going to add a connection profiles, and we're going to add a connection profiles for the internet, and we're going to allow IKE version 1. And when you do this one to bypass access list for inbound internet, that means that we are going to allow, or we trust any connection coming from the internet. Okay. Um, so let's go ahead and add a connection profile. And we are going to call this connection profile, we're going to call client less. That's what we're going to call it. The interface that we want to use is inside same IP. We're not going to do any of this. policy though, we are going to add our policy that we just um, this one over here. So we're going to use clientless, which is good. We're not going to configure any of this down here. Let's go ahead to advanced. Oops, what's up? Let me see over here. Peer. Hmm. So added IP sec. Okay, so I'm doing the wrong one. So I was doing an IP sec. We need to do a site-to-site connection profile. So let's go ahead and add one. Why does it do an IP sec? I don't want to do an IP sec. I want to do discard. Let's go ahead and do a site to site. There we go. Okay, I was on the wrong one. So I think I went to remote access. We want to do a site to site, and we want to create a connection profiles for the site to site. There we go, site to site VPN. And we're going to add it. Why is it telling me to do it like this? So since this is a little bit different connection group, we don't want to do any of that. Okay, let's go ahead and just add it with a wizard. Clientless VPN wizard. Click next. Profile name. Here we go. Client less. The interface is internet. We're not going to use any certificate at this moment. We're going to add a local user. Let's call it asker 1234 1234. Add it. Next. The policy. Let's go ahead and policy is not there, so let's go ahead and create client less New York policy. Next. Bookmarks. Let's go ahead and create a new bookmark, and this is going to be new. Let's go ahead and just bookmarks NY. Add it. We're going to leave it as default. Over here is going to be to the GUI, and the GUI is 10.10 10.10. Why is it doing that? 10. So it's not letting me put the IP address over here. 10.10.10. Why is it doing that? Let's go ahead from here. 10.10.20.2, which is the IP address of that GUI over here, of the TACACSGUI. Go ahead and click OK. Bookmark added. Done. Next. There we go. So the step number 6 is going to be a summary that it gives you. We created a connection name clientless using the interface internet. User authentication is local. The new user that we added was Asker. The group policy was clientless and Y policy, and the bookmark was bookmarks New York City. Finish. So there you go. So we have created that site to site. So now what we need to do, we gotta launch this hotel and see if we are able to form a connection to HTTPS 145, that one. And there we go. The connection is not secure. That's right. That's because we don't have a certificate. Confirm that this, and there we go. So now we are able to SSL um, with a web browser from my computer that I'm using at a hotel. And let's go ahead and log in with Asker 1234. Try it again, Asker 1234. And it's not letting me log into it for some reason. So HTTP is enabled and all that authentication failed. Let's go ahead and go to the, which one was ASDM? It was this one. Is this one? This one doesn't tell me which one it is. Is this one the North Carolina one? Let's see if monitor. Okay, so internet. So it looks like this one is 145 1.1.3. So let's go ahead and go to the 1.1.3 because I think I configured South Carolina first, but it's not South Carolina because I was able to get this from this other one. So I believe, why is there two IP addresses in here? GUI. So let's go ahead and go to configurations, local users, asker, VPN policy. We're using that policy, that's good. Let's go ahead and change the IP, the password. And no access to the ASDM, that's good. Apply, there we go. Oh, I guess we need to save that. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this over here. Let's go ahead to asker, 123. There you go. Okay, so I don't know why it wasn't. I think because I did not save my configurations for that user. But now if we go to that GUI, we should be able to log into that GUI, and I believe the login for the TACACSGUI is this one, and then 123 ABC 123 or ABC 123 ABC 123. There we go. So that's the password to log into the TACACSGUI. It's 123. It's ABC 123. Okay, so now we have a connection to this New York. As you can see, I'm able to log into the DMZ. So now what I want to do is I want to configure the ASA South Carolina. Let's change the name over here, South Carolina as well. So let's go ahead to the South Carolina one, which is this one, because I have not configured anything over here. So let's go ahead. Yeah, and you can see the IP address is 192.168.1.1. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the wizard and set up a VPN Wizards to be clientless SSL VPN. Go ahead and click next. Profiles clientless South Carolina. The interface that we want to use is the internet. We do not have a certificate, so we're going to leave everything as default. The username over here is going to be asker underscore South Carolina. See if it lets me add it like that. 123. The password 123. Click on next. Group policy. Let's create a new group policy. Clientless policy South Carolina. Click next. Bookmarks. Let's go ahead and create a new bookmark. Bookmarks South Carolina. Add it. We're gonna leave it a default. And over here it's going to be GUI or GUI South Carolina. Over here it's going to be 192.168.2.2, which is this TACACSGUI over here. Okay, okay, done. Next. There we go, the summary, finish. And let's go ahead and save it. I believe that's why I couldn't log in um, the first time I tried from the hotel, because I did not save the ASA New York City for the ASDM. So let's go ahead to this to my computer over here from the hotel. And let's go ahead to HTTPS 145.1.1.3, which is this one over here, South Carolina. Go to advanced, confirm exception, and there you go. So now let's go ahead and log into Oscar underscore South Carolina, password 123. There you go. And then we have the TACACS, the GUI over here for South Carolina, which is this one over here. And this one should take me to the TACACS GUI for South Carolina. As you can see, I am in already on this GUI over here for the 10.10.20.2. And now I'm trying to get into the one for 192.168.2.2. But as you can see, we have configure 2 ASA, the 145.1.1.1, and the 145.1.1.3. So this is good. And this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video configuring 2 firewalls with clientless SSL VPN. And if you guys enjoy this, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you guys have a Twitter account, right? If you have a Twitter account, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you do not have a Twitter account, go ahead and create one and then follow me. We have lots of fun. I put up a lot of videos and a lot of tips for CCNA security, CCNA, and ICND1, ICND2, and CCNP. So also, if you like this video, click on like and also follow me on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye bye.